Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the first VRM Intel live online education class that we've just started doing. We've got Brandon Sauls and his team from IC&D. Brandon is the founder and owner of IC&D. So I'm going to turn it over to him and let him go ahead and get started. And Brandon, thank you and your team so much for doing this.
Absolutely, Amy. Thank you for having us. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending the VRM Intel 2017 Marketing Game Plan webinar. As Amy mentioned, I'm Brandon Sauls, president and owner of IC&D, and we're a conversion-focused website development and marketing company serving the vacation rental and real estate space for over 17 years. So again, we're thankful to be part of the first ever VRM Intel webinar, and thanks again, Amy. I certainly appreciate it. During this presentation, we'll be showing our VRM Intel attendees how to create a holistic and complete digital marketing plan for your 2017 year. We'll cover the high-level items that you need to tackle, like SEO, content tips and strategies, paid media advertising, social media management and advertising, email marketing, conversion rate optimization and user experience, Google Analytics analysis and tracking. So all combined with a seriously in-depth analysis and idea to make every visitor and lead count. This presentation will have tons of great tidbits of the tools, methods, and processes for refining every single marketing channel for the maximum impact, including your dependency or independence from third-party sites. Attending this session will create a positive impact on every single attendee's bottom line. So taking part in the presentation today will be Paul Hannock, our marketing director, and Vanessa Humes, our sales director and vacation rental marketing consultant. Today, I'll be focusing my talking points on conversions and the bottom line. Paul is the marketing director and heavily involved in the actual doing and leading his team in the realm of SEO, PPC, social media, remarketing, retargeting, and email marketing. He'll be talking about things you should be doing and what's trending. Vanessa comes from a strong marketing branding background. She's going to talk about bringing your brands across diverse channels, building your brand authority, and how that all pays off at the end. So with that said, I'd like to hand this over to Paul to begin with the future-proof strategies for SEO.
Hey everybody, just to get started, before I talk about the future, I want to talk about the past. With any kind of new change that's happening with Google, with any kind of big metric out there, you kind of have to stick to your guns as far as what's worked in the past and think about what has happened over the past couple of years in order to future-proof what you've done. Now, the main thing I want you to really get in your head is you need to start thinking like a person, not a machine. Stop writing content for Google's sake. Stop writing content and making links and trying to SEO your site to the max capacity. Google is looking for a lot more now. They're looking for user intent. They're looking for the way that the user interacts with your website rather than the content on it. So there was a recent core update, for example, that in the search metrics, it was the analysis of winners and losers, and it goes into an article, a website called brainpop.com. Now, this website has no content. It has a bounce rate of less than 20%, but the average visit duration was 8 minutes. Now, it ranks for terms like how to write a sentence. Now, on the site itself, on the page itself, there's no content that Google could crawl or make applicable as far as SEO values in the old way. But because of the way that the user interacts with the website, it ranked based on just the user intent. So user intent, make sure that you have all the appropriate items on your page whenever you're wanting to convert that user. Think about videos. Think about great photography. If you're because you're in the rental industry, you want to make sure that whenever a user searches out your product or service, that you satisfy that user with what you're coming up with. Simple as that. Show reviews of the property. Show different area attractions that might be within walking distance. Keep them on your site. Basically, keep them on your site as much as you possibly can, and give them as many avenues of things about your business, your rentals, and the area that you possibly can to keep them on the site and sticky. You can no longer just write content that you write a whole bunch of content and hope you rank. You have to now think about what a user wants, and Google's picking up on that. Another good example is schema markup tags. When a schema markup tag is basically something that will be on your site, hidden to the user's visual eye, but it's things that the search engines crawl and display appropriately. So, for example, on the screen here, you'll see that there's a review section for this particular SERP. Now, whenever you're searching through that kind of catches your eye. Now, the other sites might not have that schema markup tag, or they might not have it. They might have it implemented inappropriately or not up to the standards. But when you see this, you're going to get a higher click-through rate. You can use the schema markup tag for reviews, location data about your business, phone numbers, all different things that'll make your search engine result stand out and get people to click. But of course, you also have to think about brand whenever you're doing any sort of campaigns.
Hey guys, it's Vanessa here, ready to talk to you guys about content and your brand voice. So when you're thinking about content and adding things to your website, I want you to also think about, what is your brand? What does your company stand for? What is your brand voice? Do you want to come across as serious or whimsical? And make sure that you continue that across all mediums, including your content on your site. So, you know, we want to make sure that you dig in and talk about what you believe in. And use that megaphone that is your website to get that core of your brand across. So maybe your brand is free linens and your rent includes everything. Make sure that that comes across in the language that you use over top of videos and pictures. And make sure that your core competencies are identified and that you promote them. I mean, there's so many different vacation rental companies to choose from. What is going to be what sets you apart from your competition? And make sure that that's highlighted on your website across all of your content, whether it's a blog post or your homepage. So, you know, you've got to be something that somebody believes in and that somebody sees value in. One thing that Paul was talking about was, how do you keep people on your website? So this is just a screenshot, so obviously it's not active, but incorporating video on your homepage is definitely something that you may want to use, especially on desktop and tablets. And what that does is it just has people hang on there a little bit longer to check out what's next in that video. And so we can see up to a 20-second increase or more in your average length on that homepage or on pages that have video in comparison to pages that don't have video. So it's something that people are going to stick around, what's next in the video, and things like that. So definitely want to think about how you can incorporate video on your homepage and throughout your site. The other thing that you want to do is look at things that can get people to interact with your page and offer information that's different than your competitors. So like here, this is a destination page that breaks down different destinations and people reviewing those destinations. So, you know, you can see which popular. So you're getting people engaged in putting that social aspect into your website. Virtual tours are something that will keep people there on that page. Large photo galleries with large photos that they can see details in there. I mean, a lot of times these guests are not going to have seen this property before, and so they need floor plans with photos and large photo galleries and everything that they need to book. The other thing you want to do is think trendy. I hope everybody can see these statistics. This was a blog post we put together for a client of ours, and just thinking what's going on in the world. Well, every kid, and even my 72-year-old father-in-law, is doing this Pokemon Go. So we created a blog post about Pokemon Go stops, and have been updating the blog posts and adding additional content concerning Pokemon Go in Myrtle Beach. And you can see that the average engagement on there is 4 minutes and 43 seconds. Other things would be like, everybody was wondering, what are those big hickey-like bruises that Michael Phelps had on his back and things like that. So, travel like an Olympian, come visit Scottsdale, Arizona, and here's the latest technology with the Medicapping. Be like Michael Phelps and come get a relaxing spa day while you're here with us. So, just different things that you can write about in blog posts, and just coming up with trendy ideas will certainly help your engagement and readership on your website and your blog.
There's also different types of content that you want to get into on your blog. Now, there's two different ways to think about it. One, we have evergreen content, and that's content that's going to stay around for a while. Things that you want to rank for all year round, over and over and over again. So examples would be the top 5 cabin rentals with awesome fireplaces. That's going to stay around for a while on your site. Things to bring to the beach on your vacation. The history of your area. Something that will stand the test of time and be evergreen, hence the term. Now, we like to dub shooting star content. Somebody please hashtag that for me, get it trending if you don't mind. Shooting star content would be stuff that burns brightly for a short period of time. Now, for example, let's keep that pun going, in July 4th fireworks displays in your area for 2017. That would be an example of shooting star content. Great restaurants opening in 2017 for your area. Of course, Pokemon Go, that's a whole other one we can get into. But the purpose of shooting star content isn't to drive a lot of transactions or get a lot of people to your website. It's basically another way to get your brand out there. Now think about it, if you write this good article and somebody nationally might be searching for it, they might land on your website and recognize your brand and say, hey, I'd like to go to Myrtle Beach sometime. Then you can then target them later with remarketing. You can go through all different channels of Facebook or AdWords or however you want to remarket to them. You've at least captured their interest, and at the very least, you're promoting your brand. Now, anytime you do any kind of content, you have to make sure that you have good calls to action, and that's where I'm going to let Brandon talk.
All right, guys. So content calls to action. It's great to rank again to your website, but it's key to get them to book. We want to talk about some critical lead capture points. But just one thing to note here, this is one of our sites we have. Notice how we give every opportunity from phone to our contact form to an email to get in touch with us here with the client. So one thing in the top right, we have a phone number that scrolls with the user. So when they first come on the site, it's in the very top right, but they scroll down, that 1-800 number is going to go down the page with them. Instant access to that 1-800 number. Also request more information in the footer of every page, and then full contact information on that left side there, company info, phone number, and email and all. So you spend all the time and money working to get the viewer to your site. You want to make sure you don't miss a single opportunity to capture that email. Booking is preferred, but we know that doesn't always happen. So one thing I want to do here is cover 6 top lead capture points that we implement into our sites. We have some sites that have 8, 9, 11 different capture points. I'm going to get the top 6, I believe, that would be best that you can implement every time into your site and see a true difference.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. A couple of things. Your audio is starting to break up. I was wondering if you could refresh your microphone. There's a settings at the top. It should say settings. There's an audio. If you can select the microphone that you have on your system, that may help, hopefully. I don't know if it's a connection issue or if it's a mic issue. The other thing is it Paul?
Yes.
What is what's schema markup? What does that mean?
So markup is basically code that's embedded into your site that will, it's micro data. It allows Google to see things that and organize them in a way that might not be applicable if Google just crawls your site normally. So you're organizing all this information into an easy to read format that Google can parse and display the values like the reviews, like the addresses accordingly on the site. So it'll be more accurate instead of it having to guess what to display. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Do you have any like resources that? Well, you actually, we'll add that to the email. So some more info on that. On I don't know why the mic is so scratchy.
So it's still bad right now, Amy?
It is. And I hate to do this, but I'm hearing that several people are not getting it. Some people it's either scratchy or broken. Jason says the audio is better, but it's still bad. Let me ask you this, everyone. Are you here? Is it scratchy from me too, or just from Brandon? Because we're in different locations. Let's see. Maybe they can't hear me at all.
Let's try this.
It says, no, you're okay. Just Brandon. Just Brandon. Just Brandon. So
let me unplug and plug it back in. Hold 1 second.
okay. Sorry about this. For the rest of you, we do have a chat going on here too. So if you, in your little studio, there's an icon that says chat, and if you have any questions, you can type them in there. Right now, most of the chat is about audio, so I appreciate all your feedback on that. Oh, you're right. I don't know, Brandon, if you can hear me. They said maybe reducing the proximity to the mic will help too. Cannot read the content, Phil. All right, so I think that they're going to log in right back in, refresh the screen to get the content. That's what I had to do. That may help. That's a good idea. Hey, everyone.
Hey, Amy, can you hear me?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Is that better?
It's a little distant, but actually it's very clear.
Okay. Is that better? I can bring this one a little closer to me.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay, so good. We have avoided a disaster.
It's very clear, much better.
Okay, so if we're good, I'm going to start back. You should see my screen, Amy. Ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for working with us right there. So, okay, so where we're standing at a while ago was, an email address is so much more valuable today, let's say, than 5 years ago. It was just, an email address being able to use in an email marketing campaign. But nowadays, an email can be used in Google and Facebook remarketing, so there's so much more value to it now. So one of the first ones I want to hit on here is basically having an email footer sign up. Because design and user experience is such an important aspect, we're going to recommend, having one of these signups near the bottom or just directly in the footer. Putting it in the footer basically puts it on every page. So essentially, if someone scrolls to the bottom and they see that, maybe they say, we want to make it easy for someone to come and sign up. Maybe not ready to book right now, but they want to keep abreast of any specials or deals that may come along. So if someone puts in their email address right there, we've captured that. And then what I recommend is, a day or two later, actually send an autoresponder back out and inviting that person to come back to the site and build out their profile. Maybe you can learn, get their name, get their travel dates, so that when they like to travel, do they like to stay in homes or condos, and whatever extra information you want to build out for future email marketing segmentation, you could do there. So start with something simple like having that email footer sign up. One of the next key things we like to see in a site as far as a capture point is a send to a friend function. So think of it like this: if someone is on your website and they're going through and they're looking at all the property detail pages, without a tool like this, what they would do is open up their Gmail or Outlook, type in their friend's email address, their friends and families, and start pasting those links into their email and typing comments alongside of it. Well, there you just lost a tremendous amount of information. You lost those email addresses and the comments that they were making about the property. So, you're going to gain that, and the key thing is you get to see those comments. Maybe they're saying some things that you're leaving out in your description that could help be a better selling point for your inventory, for your properties. So, even though this is going to a guest, we still kind of record this in the control panel, allowing you to view and see what they're saying there and capturing those additional email addresses. So, just a nice tool to have to capture more emails, but also be on the property detail page. Now, I know this seems very, very straightforward and simple, but I'll tell you, I've seen some redesigns that we go through on occasion that did not have a contact form on the property detail page. So by all means, it's the most popular contact form. And just very simple: first name, last name, email, and comments. That's all. Very minimal information. Another contact point we have is on the property detail page, a property Q&A question and answer section. So you may have seen this like on Amazon or Toys R Us. Like if you're on Toys R Us, you can go, then you can actually ask a question about about that toy, whatever it may be. Same thing applies here. So someone can ask a question, hey, this property is on the second row, second floor. Can I view the ocean from the balcony or something like that? Or you may get the same question over and over again: is the pool chlorine or is it a saltwater pool? Well, here you can actually have the guest ask the question. It comes to the reservations to be responded to, and if it's deemed to be a worthy question, then they can simply approve it for it to appear in the Q&A section on the property detail page. So even if your reservations are seeing the same question over and over again by phone call, they can actually go type in their own question and help push it out. And these questions and answers are pretty cool. We see a lot of people reading through them because it's actually information that their peers are asking, and not so much just a wall of text. A lot of us just go and we put into the description. So just another great way to capture a lead and get questions out there and cut down some of the call volume to your reservations. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you here is that email pop-up modal. So please don't X out of this webinar. I know no one likes pop-ups, but if implemented properly, this can be very successful. So let me just go into a little bit of details here for you. We've actually have a case study, and we've had some phenomenal results. Now, when I'm saying implemented properly, whenever you first come to this website, we don't want to blast you this the moment you land on there. We usually implement it in two different ways. One is we can kind of track the person's mouse movement, and if we see them start to X out of the browser, we can put the pop-up real quick, almost like a wait, hang on, don't leave yet. Get $25 off, don't leave our site. Or better yet, let's say once someone comes onto the website and they're really engaged in the site, they spend some time on it. Let's say after they look at the second property detail page view, for example, then we'll pop this up here. So we try to present it in a way that's not offensive to the viewer. Now, some other things we're experimenting with here is, notice this one says get an extra $25 off. When we first started, it was actually a percentage. We did 5%. Well, the average viewer may have a little problem with trying to compute what 5% is of $1,800 or $3,200 or whatever it may be. So we found through some A/B testing that by putting that $2,500 or that $25 discount rate, that it really made a big difference. And as far as the case study is concerned, we implemented this last year during the season for one of our clients, and they saw 4,656 emails signed up. And this sign up was directly related to $517,436 in bookings. It's almost $500,000 in bookings can be related back to this pop-up modal here. Basically how it works is once you put your email address in, we immediately send an email right back out to you with a promotional code that can be redeemed for the $25. So, don't always run from the idea of a pop-up modal. This by far is, was an awesome, content capture point that we implemented. If you'd like to read up on our case study, you can go to icnd.net/blog, icnd.net/blog, and it's about the 5th blog post down if you want to check out that case study. So, one other place I like to mention here is on the checkout page. So shopping cart abandonment, booking abandonment. Now, I feel sure you guys have been to Amazon or eBay before, placed some items in your cart, got to the very end of the checkout process. For one reason or another, you got distracted and did not complete the checkout process. Well, we all know what happens within 2 to 3 hours. You get an email in your inbox saying, "Hey, you didn't check out. Come back." So basically, that's what we're doing here. Whenever you're on the final checkout page, the money page, where you're gonna hope to get someone to check out, and they get distracted, you really want to get that person back. And what we do here is the moment they start typing in their first name, their last name, and then their email address, we have exactly what we need. We have the email address that we can go back and we can check the bookings database table to see if that person is booked under that email address. And if they have not, then we simply send them the email like you see to the right there. Hey, Brandon, we see you recently visited our website, but you didn't book a stay with us. And we'll display the property that they were looking at there. And then you can offer them that $25 discount, 5% discount, whatever it may be, or no discount at all. But at least you're getting back in that person's inbox and you get that one last chance to fight to get them back. Now, one or two others I'll hit up here is like the contact us page. That's all pretty straightforward. I didn't include, of course, a screenshot of that. So people can ask general questions or group rates or whatever it may be. Other contact points we found is like last minute bids. That's another one you can include, last minute bids on properties. But I realize that you won't be able to implement all these overnight, but implementing just 1 or 2 here and there will really you'll see a major increase to the number of emails captured. And don't forget about that pop-up modal. Moving on over, we'll hand it back over to Paul with paid media search advertising.
Hey guys. Okay, so basically, we all know Google pay-per-click. We all know the ads and how they inundated our lives recently. So one of the main things that I want to get to is a lot of the features that Google's added over the past few years, especially in the back end, it makes it a lot easier for users to actually go in and do their own PPC ads. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have a professional handling it, especially if you're worried about it. But the think about it, if they really want you to spend the money, they're going to make the user experience amazing and keep you on the site using their ads and trying to convert as much as possible. And of course, both the Bing and Google AdWords teams, as far as support, are amazing as far as needing to get something done and getting an answer quickly. So, but again, if you're worried about doing your own pay-per-click campaigns, then seek out a professional like ICND to really manage it for you, especially if you're going to be spending a big budget. But my point is that you can't not be doing pay-per-click. For example, just recently, Google has removed the right sidebar. If you can see on the screen now, they've removed the right sidebar from their search results. But instead, they added another ad at the top. So now we have 4 slots for advertisements instead of 3, and now we have the map pack as well. So by the time you get to organic search results, you're already scrolling way down on the page. So if you don't do any investing in pay-per-click, at least for your brand, then you're losing out. Now, there's a recent study that was just done, actually, that 55% of users do not know that the ads at the top are paid ads. So that's half. Half the users don't know that these are paid ads. So if you don't invest that time and don't invest that money, then you could be losing out quite a bit. They've also extended the ads. They've made it extended text ads to where you can have more text in the top. For example, you see the ones that are displaying now are actually quite long compared to the ones that were originally set up. So there's just a constant improvement that Google is making in order to
really capitalize on both mobile and any sort of user interaction. Now, how do you improve your PPC with good content? So you have to both leverage, once you get them to the site, you have to make sure that they convert. And you keep people on the page and make sure you keep your bounce rates low. All of this stuff contributes to your quality score on your ads themselves. Now, the quality score is just a metric that Google uses to see how well the ad matches what the user is searching for. So you can't just do an ad for beach cabin vacation rentals, insert company name here, and then expect it to be perfect, send them to your homepage and get a whole bunch of users to convert. You need to really think about user intent. Again, go back to user intent. Answer the question that the user is searching for. If they're trying to do a search for rentals or stuff for sale, et cetera, you might want to send them to your landing page. If they're doing a search for specials or last minute deals, you send them to your specials page in your ads. Make sure you're answering the user's questions whenever you do this, because this very much affects the quality score. And if your quality score is lower, then you're paying more per click for the ads. Now, also to keep in mind that if the campaigns don't convert, you might be exhausting your ad budgets with spending too much time using broad match keywords. Now, broad match keywords are just, for example, Myrtle Beach rentals. Now, it's a big keyword. It really is. It's one of those that has the most traffic and is probably the most expensive as well. But if you want to make sure that your campaigns are converting, you might want to make sure that you're also going after long tail keywords as well. Myrtle Beach rentals, oceanfront, 2-bedroom, stuff like that. Just capitalize on what people are searching for, and you'll probably be paying a little bit less than actually what the main broad keywords are. So, but keep in mind too that the broad match keywords, you can also be paying for clicks that you don't want. So that's why you want to take advantage of using the negative keywords tool. Basically, it'll just add a section in there for what keywords you don't want to show up for. Now, in this example, it's kind of out there, but Hilton Head rentals not to stay at. You don't want your ad to show up for that. So that you would put the word "not" in your negative keywords. Just a little example there. And now think about you can actually go into your AdWords campaigns and see what keywords people have searched for and clicked on to get to your website. And if it's not something that's within your target audience or not something that you actually sell, then you definitely want to add that in, and that's going to save you money in the long run. Just that being said, AdWords is just not a set and forget it kind of thing. You have to monitor it in order to capitalize. I mean, sure, you can set and forget it and spend a lot more money than you should, but it's really one of those things that requires constant monitoring, and be sure that you're doing it correctly in order to capitalize on the money that you're really putting in. Now, we always have a lot of questions about Google versus Bing. How much do you put into each? What's your demographic, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Google is, of course, the big horse. That's the one that a lot of people invest a lot of time and money in, just because it's the one with the most traffic, biggest name, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, we're talking about Bing as well, which comes pre-installed on all the Windows machines now. So I mean, think about the good demographic that you're in. What age group? I mean, do you have a grandmother that's going to be coming on vacation, or even your mother that doesn't know anything about computers, and then she can go in and she'll get her new PC all set up and start searching for vacations with the default browser, which is Bing. So again, keep in mind that you don't want to completely knock Bing out of the running. Just do your research, and I do recommend investing money into Bing as well. It'll give you a good ROI, and it's usually a little bit cheaper than Google. But that also brings us into branded search as well.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, just to talk a little bit about branded search, and speaking of campaigns that usually cost a little less per click, your branded search is definitely one that, because of your quality score, you are going to pay the lowest cost per click, and that you definitely want to have set up. And this is because with your branded search, you are allowed to pick your site locators and what they call your site extensions, whereas in your organic listing, Google's going to pick those for you. So if you want to set up your site extensions to go to your specials page or an interior page of your choice that is going to really help convert with that ad and lead them down the correct funnel, that's something that you're able to do. And by setting these up, you're also protecting your brand from your competitors. Just like we looked at the other search, a lot of these keyword phrases, including your company names, are getting bid on by big dogs and by your competitors. So that's something that we're going to have to do. But something that you may notice is that your organic can suffer a little bit from this, especially since Google has shifted and put everything up at the top now and not on the right side as well. We're seeing more traffic going for that branded search through pay-per-click than through organic. So, you got to make sure that your Google local is strong and that you're using your organic listings and your organic SEO to reach out to longer tail keyword phrases and make sure that you continue to grow that organic SEO traffic to make up for that. And now we're going to get into social media.
Now, social media is one of those things that it's treaded on and used by pretty much everybody. But as far as bringing it into the vacation rental marketplace, that's one of the things that I really want to touch on as far as does it work and how much return can you get from it. Now, I want you to have realistic expectations. I don't want you to think that you're going to do a great campaign and get thousands and thousands of dollars worth of rentals just from social media. Now, while it can happen, you don't want to put all your eggs in that basket. But it is a real good way to bring your brand out and make sure that you have interaction with your current guests or your previous guests and just different ways to really get them tuned into you, your company, and your brand. Now, of course, you got to choose the right channels for your demographics as far as which ones are most popular: Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook. So we'll get into that in a bit. Now, the most important thing that I want to really drive home is the 85-15 rule. The 85-15 rule is 85% fun and 15% promotional. Otherwise, you're just going to drive your guests away. Simple as that. If you spend just as much time doing fun stuff, and you're going to really get that user interaction, and then they're going to remember your brand more. Memes are very popular. Just a great beach photo with some text on it that speaks to people is just a great way to gauge interest visitors, get them to hit the like button, get them to hit the share button, and the more that happens, the more your brand gets out there, and the better it is in the long run. There's a great little tool out there called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. It's a good way of taking just normal photos that you can upload, and then you can make memes out of them that way. It's simple to use and easy. Just give it a try and see if you like it. It'll definitely, it makes them pretty and shareable and will help most definitely. Another thing I want you to keep in mind is when you optimize is optimizing your website for shareability. Now, there are certain tools in there that Facebook gives you that will show you exactly what the page is going to look like on the screen, on the newsfeed before you actually search it. The link is right there, but you can actually just if you don't want to type down the link, just Google Facebook debug tool, and you'll find it. Now, what this will do, like I said, it'll just put your URL in of what you're thinking about sharing, and it'll show you what it's going to, what it pulls from the data as far as the title, the photo, stuff like that. Now, of course, social media is very brand heavy as well.
Hey guys, so if we take a look at building your social media building your brand on social media, we're going to take a look at like different options you have for posting. So, a lot of what your brand is is the experience that you have to offer. So you want to make sure that you engage your team into going out and taking pictures for you, going down to the lake or the mountains with the recent snowfall or the beach and doing some live video, and making sure that you really embrace that social media. So as Paul was talking, Facebook is still where the majority of our customers are at. But if you're looking to start building with the millennials, you want to use the Instagram as well. But it's more than just taking these pictures and posting them or finding memes and writing clever sayings on them and putting your logo on it. It's really about, engaging back with them. So you can see one of these posts with Grand Strand Resort, and, they're posting popular places that people stick their heads in and take pictures. So that's always something that will help get people engaged and share their photos, learn people who have been to the area, and earn their business to come back. And so you want to make sure that you ask them to message you and find out how you can help them experience the best vacation ever. Watermark pictures if you can get your logo on there without being too promotional. You don't want to have a meme and then stick your watermark on there, but if it's appropriate, it's definitely something that can help carry that brand across. And make sure that you get people to share your content and share content that people are going to continuously go back. So you're becoming that destination authority. So sharing great pictures, sharing great news, events, so that if they are planning or they're just an avid vacationer to your destination, that they're going to come back to you as the authority to check in and see how their favorite vacation destination is doing.
Now, Instagram is probably one of the most popular buzzwords these days. It's becoming really, really big in the millennials phase. But I just want to talk about as far as building it for your vacation rental industry. Now, don't think of Instagram as one of those things that you just have to go out and do and get a lot of money from it. And it's a fun thing. Think of it as really engaging the customers that you have and keeping them involved with your brand. Simple as that. Now, you're not going to get a lot of bookings from Instagram, but you're going to get people, especially the younger generations that you're going to want to target. You're going to keep them involved. Use filters appropriately, do the appropriate hashtagging. And if you have no idea what either of those are, then find somebody in your company that actually has an Instagram account, loves playing with it, goes out and does their own thing. It's not very difficult to learn and understand, but it's one of those things that you do have to do right if you want to really build your brand and have fun with it, because it's a very visual and it's very it's not really time consuming, I guess you could say, but you do want to make sure that whatever staff member is doing it is doing it appropriately. Again, it's just one of those fun things, just like Pinterest is. Now, Pinterest has been around for quite a while, and some of you may use it, some of you may not. But again, it's one of those things that you do for fun. Now, it also works fairly well for the vacation rental industry, because it is one of those things you can actually set and forget on occasion. So you can actually go in there once every 6 months and make some changes, make some new boards, and then just let the content set, because it doesn't really have a feed per se. So, but think about, again, the 85-15 rule: 85% fun, 15% promotional. So if you're going on Pinterest, make a board about your great rentals that you have, but also make a board about cool beach photos or the wildlife or things to do in the area. Just keep it fresh, keep it fun, and Pinterest will actually pay off. Now, here's a little inside tip for you: if you actually create a Pinterest and put a special promo code pin in there, send out an email that says, "Hey, we have a special hidden coupon on our Pinterest board. Go check it out." Good way to get a whole bunch of followers real quick and then promote your brand. So keep that in mind. Now, as far as social media advertising, when we have to pay to get people involved in the site, the Facebook Pixel is one of the is a big term, and it's basically just a simple tracking code that you put on on your website in the back end. Now, what this tracking code does, it allows you to retarget visitors once they've already been to your website. Now, for example, if somebody comes to your site looking for a vacation rental, just via organic search, you can then capture their information via the Facebook pixel and target them on Facebook itself. So by targeting them on Facebook, you're not only trying to get them re-engaged, but you're also building your brand a bit more as far as brand awareness goes. And usually Facebook is pretty good as far as cost goes as well. So it's a good thing to look into, especially if you're going to be doing any retargeting or custom audiences. Now, the custom audiences, for example, is if you have your fan base and you can then select to show your ad to fans or friends of fans, and you can even go into demographics and geographic locations. So there's a lot of different ways that you can actually advertise on Facebook. But if you want to get started, I would say just try to do some just fans and friends of fans advertising, and that'll get you a good bang for the buck. Then you can branch out and get into the more appropriate things. Now, but bonus tip for you, if you have a thank you or confirmation page on your site, you probably don't want to remarket to them because they've already booked, and now you're doing a promotion to offer them a discount. So you Facebook has the ability to let you not target to those specific people. Another good example would be if you're trying to recruit new homeowners and you want to grab everybody that's been on the property management page. Now you can actually just target that specific page in general with the Facebook pixel and then remarket to those people who have visited your site just seeking that information. Be a lower cost budget, and you can actually just dial into potential homeowners that might want to join your rental management program. Now, let's pop into email marketing. Yeah. Email marketing is one of those things that has a very good return on investment. Simple as that. Once you get a good email list going, you will be able to leverage any kind of marketing budget to your favor, and you'll see a good ROI as long as you measure it appropriately. Now, for example, one of the great e-blasts that we just created was for Last Key here. It seems simple, but there's a lot to it. Now, the search rentals, specials, real estate, contact us, all at the top. You've got a very big call to action on the image itself, and this is it's a new site launch, but we're giving the user quite a few different ways to contact to reach out to us and the vacation rental company. Another example would be Top Sale Realty that we just recently did. Now this one, there's a lot of contact points as well. You see at the top, the logo is a link. There's the beach, Surf City, North Topsail, and there's just so many different calls to action. And make sure whenever you're doing these email blasts that the calls to action are large so that we can do them on a mobile device and people don't have an issue clicking with their thumb or their finger. Now, the reason I mentioned mobile is because mobile is a very, very large demographic as far as emails go. Think about it. I mean, you read a lot of your emails when you're on your phone. Now, that's actually 60% of our open rates are on mobile devices. So if you're doing an email, we have to make sure that it's a responsive email and it will look good on a mobile device. If not, then you might lose conversions or interest, basically, because the email isn't displaying appropriately. So think about it as being a responsive design that looks great on your mobile phone as well as a desktop. Now, once you get them to your website, finally, you have to think about conversion rate optimization. And what I really want to drive home here is what to think about in the future and for the future. Now, let's see what Google has done in the past. They've recently made page speed a factor in ranking. They've recently made a mobile-friendly boost, secure sites with HTTPS. All of these things have to do with user interaction on the site. Not about content, not about the number of blog posts that you have, et cetera, et cetera. It has to do with the user experience on the page itself. So what I really want to drive home is looking in the future. Conversion rate optimization is really where you want to be at, as far as making sure that your site is future proof. Now, future proof is a keyword there. Now, how do you pull it all together?
Yeah, so I know we gave you guys all a lot of good information, and you're probably thinking, if you're in the mountains, gosh, I don't have much time to pull this off, but you do. Now is a great time to be out there taking pictures. As the cooler weather comes into the beach areas, the skies get crisp and clear and less hazy. It's a perfect time for you to invest in the photography and videos for the content and for your ads and everything, email campaigns. So, what we want to talk about is just what to do, how to kind of lay it out with your time, how to plan it out, and how to get your team engaged. Definitely want to delegate some of this. So as we go into the fall, we're going to get amped up for the busy booking season. And so you're going to want to start getting your lists ready for your return guests. So, go and pull the last few years guests and when they booked, and start getting those campaigns laid out. When do you want to send them out in January, February, March, or if you're in a ski destination, earlier. So that's definitely something that you want to get ready for your busy booking season. Your Facebook ads, start thinking about your strategies for that. Definitely get your remarketing and retargeting pixels on your sites, so that you can start collecting data for that, because you're going to need to have a base before you can start running ads on that. So if you don't have that set up and those pixels on there, you want to make sure you get that on there before your guests start hitting your site. New guest campaigns, SEO, and PPC. Of course, you want to start looking at your budgets and things, and getting that all amped up. And then also going out and pulling your list from email marketing and do some lookalike audiences and testing. So you can put that all together and get that set. The other thing you want to look at as you're laying out your content calendar is the different seasonal promotions. So we talked about book early and how to prepare for that. That's really the heavy season. But then you want to look at spring break and when you want to target last minute spring break, summer vacations, and when you can target last minute. So Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, they're all going to have last minute savings and campaigns that you're going to run. And then holiday stays. So this is where you're going to plot out on your calendar all these seasonal stays, what kind of ads, what kind of emails, what kind of pay-per-click, and of course, what kind of content is going to follow those to support those campaigns. And then you've also have some non-traditional holidays. So this is where you can get unique and fun, where you've got like President's Day, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. I know that these are all a lot of holidays that we think about, but that we might be thinking about last minute when we want to run promotions. Tax day sales, so tax refund sales, or after Easter, you can have as the kids start going back to school, a lot of places have the tax-free. So you can promote the tax-free shopping and also maybe give them like a gift card or an incentive to come down and stay. Halloween, November, Thanksgiving, Christmas shopping, and of course December with Christmas and New Year's can be good times as well. Other ideas, in addition to like your shoulder seasons that everybody is promoting, I'm just trying to give you guys ideas to set yourself apart from competition. So one thing that really gets people in the mood is anniversaries, in the mood for vacations. So they can have birthday, wedding anniversary. Nothing says I love you like booking them a vacation. So if you have that information in your CRM, make sure you're using it and set up how those campaigns are going to go. So now is a great time to figure out is your marketing team going to get that information and execute that automatically so that they can get those messages on their birthday or wedding anniversary. Again, the tax refund sale, or when everybody's getting their tax refunds, is a great time to hit them up for a vacation. It's another time that they love to make impulse buys, because as Americans know, when we have that money in our pockets, burning a hole, and we got to spend it on something. So might as well be vacation over furniture or whoever else gets their refunds that year. Super early booking. As the trend to book last minute, the way to combat that is to push it out to them and say, hey, our rates are out for 2017. Get in there, book your favorite vacation rental before somebody else does. As soon as you release those rates, start letting them know. It doesn't have to be the whole campaign, but it can be mentioned in your campaign and in your content and what you're promoting to them. And then one funny thing, but you guys are marketing to women who have children. So just be cautious of the language that you use there. Make sure you realize your target audience and avoid using things like blowout sales, because to women and children, that may not be their favorite thing. Urgency. One second thing only to the blowout sales is that you need to have urgency when you're communicating with them. If you give them forever or months to book, then a lot of times people just push it out, and as busy people as we are, it's very easy for us to get distracted and spend that money on something else. So go ahead and give them 72 hours or less. Sometimes you could even do a 24-hour sale. Give them a good deal. Start getting that. Start getting those bookings in now, and push with urgency later as well. So the time ticking, the shorter the better, and make it easy to book online anytime or anywhere. And of course, now through December, you also want to be looking at your analytics. Make sure your analytics is all set up. Make sure your e-commerce is set up. Make sure your goals, how many email addresses are you collecting? How many people are signing up for different things and using your send to a friend, and all those different metrics. If you don't have call tracking, see if you can get that set up before the new year so that you guys have a good bench line going into the new year. That would be a great start. And take a look at your analytics and see what goals you have. Set those goals, set time in your calendar of when you're going to review those goals and what actions that you may need to take while you have a clear head and you're not under the pressure of meeting those goals. Figure out, be a little proactive there. And then you also want to revisit and look at your budgets from last year on how you did with pay-per-click and social media advertising, and see what you need to pull for this year. And then as you get into next year, you want to make sure that you're looking at your bookings, looking at your numbers, forecasting out for later months. Keep in mind those upcoming opportunities for quick sales and the different holidays that may be coming up that you can push and get some additional bookings. And now we've got some time for Q&A, and just want to thank everybody for joining this call, and hope you guys got a lot of useful information out of it. And please let us know if we can give you any websites for reference, or have any questions that we can answer for you now. So we're going to hop over to the chat. Amy, are you there?
I am. Well, people are thinking about questions if they are. I have one about ROI, and it's largely about PPC. Is there an expected ROI that we should have from our PPC efforts? So, like, for every dollar that we spend on PPC, we should see X dollars in revenue?
It really depends. Industry standard isn't really standard across the different areas, because the different cost per clicks. For example, Myrtle Beach might be different than somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. Now, it's one of those judgment calls that if you're happy with your ROI, then I would keep investing in it. But anywhere from 10 to 15%. I mean, it really could be any kind of ROI that you are comfortable with. I've seen some pretty bad ones out there, but that the clients were happy with what they're getting, and they were making money from it. So whatever you feel comfortable with is really what I would suggest. I don't want to throw any numbers out there that might lead somebody astray or rethink the way that they're doing things.
Amy, I see a question from Amy or from Kristen. More in-depth information on set up the pixels on the site. Assuming the pixel tracking and all that.
Yeah, for the Facebook pixel, that's actually, it's fairly simple. You'll basically go into your Facebook account, and under your profile there's a create ads section. Now the ads will be under your personal profile, but you can still tie them to a business account. So basically it'll walk you through the process of how to start using Facebook ads, and the Facebook pixel will come up, and it'll just give you a simple tracking code once you create your account, that you'll take the code and you'll put it on either in the header footer or the header or footer of your website on each page that you want to start tracking. So it's a fairly simple process, but you need to get into the Facebook Ad Center a bit and play around with it. And
so
then
you can market individual properties that way too?
Yeah, you sure can. Yeah, you can specify. It takes a bit to set up. Let's say you have like 60 buildings or whatnot, or et cetera, but it does take a little bit of upfront work. Now, it really depends on if you think that upfront work is going to your advantage. I would recommend just starting out doing a general campaign that would kind of see how it works and really target the people that have been to your site, rather than going down page by page by page, or building by building, or unit by unit. You can do that, but I wouldn't recommend it right out of the bat.
Okay. I see that David had a question too about how do you approach including everything on the website without it being too cluttered.
Hey, David. Thanks for the question. So I guess without digging in deeper to your question, the big thing is like everything has its place, and a lot of times we add a lot of this in the design, and then what's not. Of course, we try to build our websites in a way that allows for things and applications to be added to it as well. So what I mean is, like, your send to a friend's not going to be on every single page, but it's going to be on an option on all of the property detail pages. Of course, your email sign up, that's going to be in your footer, so it's away from the main content of the site, but for somebody who's looking for it, it's easy to find. So everything kind of has its place. Industry standards for your email sign up and your contact information being in your footer, that's something that people are fairly familiar with, just like the phone number in your header. So we try to place things where it's intuitive, and also where it's most appropriate, especially when we're introducing new concepts. And it looks like Adam has, would you recommend using live stream for marketing? So live stream is the video. And yes, definitely. Live stream is very important. Facebook has introduced the live stream with the videos, and so they've put a lot of weight on any advertiser, or not advertiser, but pages that are showing live stream. That a lot of times that'll show at the top of the news feed, just because in Facebook and Instagram, that's just the videos are just so popular that people like to see that rather than reading. People are more inclined to watch a video than to read a blog post or a social media post. So you definitely want to be using live stream. Of course, there's like Ustream and Periscope that you can use as well. They don't have a huge following unless it's like something major going on. So, you can do live streams of like different events if you have festivals or things like that people want to check out. And then just make sure that you store that video so that you can use it in a blog or a future social media post. Any other questions?
Yeah, we got some time for more questions. Anybody got any?
Well, again, I thank every one of you who attended this webinar, and Amy, thank you so much for putting it together.
You guys, it was really good information. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you doing it. We did record it, so you'll get a replay link in an email back from this. And one more question from Adam. So would you recommend doing a live home tour? It's actually a really good question. There's so much debate right now on, floor plans. As you know, I did a case study on floor plans and found them to be extremely effective across several different of our mutual clients. But between floor plans and videos and the 3D tours and the new Matterport stuff, do you recommend one over the other? Are you analyzing that for your clients right now?
I think that that's really something that depends on the client and their owners and the budgets that they have. I think the more information, no matter what your rental is, the more information, the better. So the more pictures, the more lifelike the walkthrough is, the better and more professional the video is, the better. But I think that you also have a time and a place for some things that would be live, like the home tour, a live home tour. If it's a beautiful day and everything's perfect and the unit's freshly clean, I think that a place and a time to do something like that. But like I said, it's really something that has to be timed just right. You don't want to go out on a cloudy day to an oceanfront condo and do a live tour, because it's just going to look dismal and drab. But the snow is falling and the lighting is perfect, and you take them up to see the views from the balcony, and you can have a great experience there. So it's all about timing with that live stream.
And I've actually done quite a few video walkthroughs myself. I'm not via live, but just doing them. And the amount of times that you think you've got it down, but you wind up messing up during your walkthrough is quite a lot. So I don't recommend doing something live in that aspect if you're trying to showcase a property. Especially when if you want the production quality to be up there, you're going to need some professional photography with stabilizers and stuff like that in order to really get the best bang for your buck and not waste your time. And that way, if it's not live and it's just on YouTube, it'll be searchable forever.
I know we focused a lot on 2017. Looking forward, a lot of the companies that have written into the magazine have talked about being either flat or down for the summer. And is there still time to impact 2016? Are there things that people can do today to really make a difference?
There's nothing really trendy that you can do. Now, as far as getting last minute bookings, keep your email blasts up. Make sure that you're doing those on a timely basis. There's campaigns that I've run in the past as far as last minute bookings, or as far as PPC, for specific holidays. They haven't done that well when I'm targeting holiday stays, but I have seen that if you use last minutes and specials and deals and those kinds of keywords do work well in your PPC campaigns, especially when people are really hunting. But again, keep in mind, you have to send them to the appropriate landing page in order to have a good quality score, in order for your ad to rank well, for you to have a lower cost per click. So it's again one of those things that you have to do correctly if you want the best bang for your buck. As far as other ways to target, again, Facebook is a very good way to drive your message out there as far as last minute goes as well. They're all traditional channels. There's nothing new and trendy as far as the vacation rental industry goes to gain more guests. Those are still the big ones.
Well, guys, thank you so very much. I really appreciate your time on this. And again, we've recorded it, and I will send you out the link shortly. And thanks a ton, Brandon and Vanessa and Paul. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for attending. Thank you, Amy. We'll be out at the Streamline Summit and VRMA National Conference. We look forward to seeing everyone out there. Thank you so much.
All right, see you guys. Thanks.
Have a good day.